Okay, public input.
For items not on the agenda. I want to draw your attention to the lovely Fairview Church. So I'm speaking as the chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. So you, I hope, have driven by. It has been repainted, the roof is done. Even the outhouse looks lovely. I don't know if you, I don't think you can use the outhouse, but it looks really nice. And so this is now the campaign by the committee to raise more money to do other things. The inside is being redone and there have been donations already, but I just wanted you to see what their committee is working on. The historic preservation needs to get on the agenda to perhaps the first week in January, Sandy, for our annual report. So can you put me on that agenda? Yes? No? Maybe?
I'll make a note.
Yeah, that's it. I have nothing except I just wanted to, you to, and have you driven by?
Yeah,
It's nice,
yes,
it's really cool. Yes, and I hope that, so one of the, there are have been lots of upgrades, but a furnace is not one of them. So we're gonna do an open house, but not until a little warmer weather.
Yeah.
Great.
Sounds good.
Yeah, looks good.
Why didn't I bring one for everyone? And I did not, and I'm sorry.
We used to fire up the wood stuff for Christmas.
Say that again.
We used to fire up the wood stuff and have a Christmas program there
Yeah.
about 10-15 years ago.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. So when the roof was done, I don't know how the venting on that.
But you gotta see
I went, well, and who knows?
To do it today. Yeah,
Wood stoves and old buildings just don't match.
Yeah.
Hate to see it lose it.
The border, yeah, on the chimney.
yeah.
No,
Okay, any questions on that project or? I
no, it
mean,
looks good, very good.
yeah,
Okay, you guys. There was a question a year ago whether the township trustees own it or you guys, but you
Yes.
guys have ownership now.
we have ownership now.
Okay,
So the
The
actual
cemetery
ownership,
also?
here's what I want you to know. Okay, so the ownership now, in order for us to get the grants, has to be a 501c3. So hometown, Louisa Hometown Pride
yeah,
owns it currently. And a committee, and they're running all of our money. And then,
And the cemetery,
yes.
the cemetery is
Wait,
part.
and
no, no,
the
See, I didn't think cemetery,
No, the cemetery is owned by township trustees,
gotcha, that's what I thought, and the building,
but the building is owned by,
yeah,
hometown,
and there was
right,
then
of
there was
Lloyd
there was a discussion on who owned what, and
Yeah.
I wondered if they'd ever resolved the cemetery, and you know what, it probably needs to stay like
It
that,
has to
because
really.
because the cemeteries, the
Future
other
purpose.
cemeteries, pioneer cemeteries or whatever in that township are run and financed by the. And
trustees, yeah,
and that will be a way to share the cost.
yeah,
The township will take care of the maintenance on the cemetery and the group will take care of the maintenance on the building. I think it's an excellent way for it to end up.
we had a really good the state person. So one of the other things that's happening with this, it's probably mentioned in the brochure, but you know that we got a grant to put that on the historic register. And so that's a long process and we hired I think you guys remember how all those things you have to
Yep.
sign for me? So you
Yep.
had to sign something, the contract with the.
With the person that was gonna,
Do the registry.
Yep,
She
yep.
did an open house at the Historic Museum.
Yep.
Where people came and showed their memorabilia and their photos and talked about family reunions there. And she said she garnered a lot of terrific information. So she was very happy with the progress and
so that'll probably happen.
I think so. It takes a while.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I'll let you know.
Okay,
Okay,
Thank you.
when's that
Thanks,
meeting
Kathy.
in January? Is it January 2nd?
Well, there's the third, if you want to be the first one, or the next one's the 10th, which one?
The 3rd's good. That'll make me get my report together. I'll see you the 3rd.
Thank
Some
you.
of you, thanks.
Anybody else?
I just had a question over you got some other appointments to talk about before the health, where's the conservation board involved in that? Because you have an appointment there that we need to.
Well, we have a hearing we have to get through also too.
Well,
No.
there's an open seat for.
There's
Claims.
claims.
Oh, we haven't done it.
we get,
I'm done, we got 3 meetings.
we got the deadline was Thursday.
Okay, see, I wasn't even aware of that.
Look
Thursday was the deadline for the applications.
through,
I haven't seen them yet.
I emailed them out.
through email,
I don't ever look at anything I get from you.
Thanks. Glad I bother.
Definitely now, right?
That's right, especially now, yeah, you know, what are we looking at? Sorry, Sandy, yes, I do. But I had not looked at that.
So how many applications?
Three.
I don't know, are you applying, Jim?
Nope.
Damn.
It's email, I don't think I'm.
Well, you could identify as one.
the day of the world.
Anything else? Okay, number 10.
Everybody okay with putting him on the Board of Adjustment?
Sure.
Compensation board.
Yeah. Compensation Board, thanks for correcting me. We need a motion for that,
I'll make a motion that we appoint Doug Boyer as our representative to the compensation board.
and I'll second that.
Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
Motion passed.
we didn't have any payrolls.
No,
Wow. This is a fast meeting.
In a half hour to our public hearing.
I'm gonna see if I did, if she's telling me the truth, she did send me an email.
Tom, did you get it? Cause I included you.
Oh, 5 recipients. Brad, Chris, Randy, Midwest Rides Restoration.
did I hear a sorry thing?
No.
Sandy, I'm sorry. My mouth got to override in my,
I'm shocked. See the shock.
yeah. You did send it to me. Wonder why I hadn't seen that. Hmm.
Adam coming.
No, he's gonna be this
Meeting today.
meeting today, I was gonna zoom in there.
Who?
Adam Shutt,
Oh,
he had an engineers conference, I believe he said last week.
What's everybody been doing in here? Anything? Yeah, you see that drawing Damon put out?
Yeah, with the green space.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna do Thursday night, right?
Yep, we'll present that to the city council.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get that house on the market.
Not everybody thinks that way.
I know, they don't. Nobody's in a big hurry, are they? Get it on the market and then we can
If it was their money, they would be. And I feel it is.
Yeah. And I
Every
don't,
one of us
I
signed
don't
that
feel we're
note.
rushing into much at all.
No,
Do you?
no, not at all. I think we're going too slow. I'd like to see it on the market by October.
Maybe we ought to meet more often than every 30 days.
I think so too. Yep. John.
You want the agenda for that meeting? Tomorrow? Oh, you'll get one if you
You don't
don't
get one there from.
Okay, I've got it here. I was gonna send it to you. I can figure out how to run this. I still struggle with this thing. I tell you what, I spent hours yesterday on the phone. Figuring out how to access my credit card online so I can see what I've been buying. It was terrible. I had to go through to do that.
It's depressing, believe me.
Once you see what
You struggle too
Yeah.
on some of that stuff?
Passwords.
Oh, passwords and this and that and. She got me all the way through and then wouldn't take my email address, said it wasn't the correct format, and woman on the other end said. It is the correct format, well, I'm gonna have to get a something specialist to talk to you. She comes back and says, there's nobody here today,
There's no specialist.
there's no specialist here today, they will call you. Well, 2 days later, nobody called me, so I called back, got a different person, started the whole process over again. And they had a specialist of some sort there that day, and he worked me through. Finally got to the end, it still wouldn't work. And he said, only thing I can say is everything's there, it's hooked up, we're okay on this end. Shut your phone off when you're done talking to me here. Shut your phone off, restart it, and then try to access it. And I did, and I got on. And I thought I spent 2 hours of my life messing with that. I don't know if it really was that important because once a month I get a statement, so it doesn't matter. But I just thought that it'd be kind of handy to see, if I forget something, if I use credit card,
I
forget.
had to go in there every day just to make sure it's just me using the card.
I never thought of that.
Yeah,
I never thought of that.
you go in there more than.
Should go on there once a month.
More than once a month, go in there once a week anyway.
Well, I finally, see what got me started on all this was finally got online banking. So that I can access my checking account online. I had never had that before either. Had to wait every month for statements and then you had to reconcile the statement and see all of this stuff. Man, I tell you what, it's right here. I complain about this technology and I act like I can't stand it and it's terrible. But boy, there's some slick things. Really makes your life easier if you just slow down a little bit and say, okay, I'm gonna learn. That's hard for me to do. So I still struggle with this. You know, one of my biggest problems I have on here is closing out something and going to something else. I still have problems with that. I'm talking to somebody on the phone and they say, well, even something as simple as saying, well, what's the phone number? Well, I've got the phone, but I really don't know how to get it for you. And before you know it, I'm hanging the phone up on them. And yeah, I've got the number I want, but I've closed it out. I've done that to that credit card guy a couple of times. He had everything done and then he'd say, well, go to your email now, or go to your text messages. And I'd close him out and go to it. I'd have the text message, he wasn't there.
Well, he's probably there unless you hung up on him.
Well, that's what I was.
Probably on hold.
I was hanging up on him. I was getting him back, so it was whatever. That part of it, and I've always had a little bit of problem with that. Some of this basic computer. And I should know basic computer. Years ago, when we all went to a laptop in my truck, as, you know, sign man, that all went, the whole sign program was when Bryce, Simon had it, there was ledgers this tall that you went through, every sign in the county was in those things, and it was terrible when I took over that. And we immediately, that's when Bob Simmering was a new engineer, and he said, we're gonna change things here. And he sent me to Muscatine County to watch how they do things, and we came back and we got a program and a laptop computer. And that, yeah, it's been, well, it's, oh, God. Been 20 years ago, and oh, at least I've been here 12, and I was there 15, so it's been 25 years ago. And I didn't know anything. They actually sent me to a basic computer class in Burlington down at Southeast Community College to get me up to speed, so at least I could understand what they were talking about. It didn't, I don't know if it done me a lot of good, because all we did was learn how to make greeting cards. But I did learn a little bit. But that was the big step I made in the computer world, was putting all of that sign inventory on a laptop and all GPS located. That was neat, but that was a big, huge learning curve. You could pull up to the road sign, punch in your coordinates, and it would tell you what sign was there. When you
supposed to be there.
what was supposed to be there, when you'd last worked on it, so on and so, it made a big difference in Louisa County's sign program.
Who's the guy that does it now? Oh.
Tim Edwards. Don Garrett took when I left and run it for 10 years, 11 years, and then Tim Edwards took the job when Don left. I think he's getting along fine, isn't he, Tim?
Yep, I'm just.
I see him out there doing his work. And
Is he from the Edward for Junction?
No, lives just outside here, Waplo.
I think he's originally from Crawfordsville area,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we've got an Edwards that works out of the Junction shop, Austin, and that's part of the Roger Edwards,
Yeah.
all of those. But this one's, doesn't he live right outside of Waplo here?
Yeah.
5 Mile Lane?
Yep.
You're up, buddy.
All righty. Not a whole lot to report this week. I've been out clearing trees mostly. Waffle crew's been out on Fort Hill cutting a bunch of us cedar trees, and as the weather gets nice, we'll hopefully make a big old pile and burn them up here sometime. Junction boys are out on T Avenue and next 17. They're doing the same thing, so. Other than that, weather's been up and down. Rainy day yesterday, so we didn't do a lot of hand, but work on getting equipment ready and all that for the winter. So in the office, we're doing some survey work, kind of working on the Grand View in town design and bypass paving design when that comes along. Getting contracts in for all the various for was that the W66 bridge, and then on our 160th, getting contracts on those, getting kind of prepped up for construction. Other than that, not too much going on with the weather and the holidays and all that. So, any questions for me or?
No, I drove X61 yesterday or Sunday, and that bicycle path is starting to get some chunks out of it. I don't know. Maybe get that on our radar for.
Yeah, it's not good. I think the spots where it has the most damage, there's a curve and trucks cut that and hits that and all that. So.
I remember we had this discussion when they built it. I'm waiting for you to say something, Chris.
No, just biting my tongue.
So, yeah,
It's at the point we put a little bit of money in it or it's gonna go pretty quick.
And then it's 1.3 million was spent on that.
And that was 10 years ago,
Mhm.
probably 2.3 million now.
probably, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll work with our usual guys that do patching or repair
Yeah,
and.
take it farm to market.
Well, it's. I'm hoping 10 to 20 grand to just. patch it
Okay,
and stuff
okay,
and
okay,
that,
okay.
Not redoing the whole.
Okay.
thing.
All right.
If and well, when that comes along, I don't know. What the plan will do with it, I don't know.
You're gonna be here.
I know, it's gonna be here, and I thank you guys for building that thing and all that, it's really nice. of you.
No, he's talking to you and me and talking to. Like,
Well, I thought I had it stopped once, but I think. A US Senator wanted some votes in Iowa City and decided to move that up into the plans.
Now, if you do it, it would have been nice if it would have done concrete.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be back, we wouldn't have this problem right now,
representative,
representative.
it wasn't a senator, was it?
No,
It was Louisa.
yeah, okay,
There you go.
try not to say that,
Well, that's who you're talking.
yeah.
I know it just had a few chunks and they were lying.
Well, whatever, we need
I
to,
don't know.
It was such a last minute deal, it was getting paved about this time of year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, it was.
Yeah,
it is really, really being used. I can't hardly drive down the road for the bicycles.
okay. Your experience is different than mine, so.
Thanks very what?
Your experience is different than mine.
Oh, okay.
Like
right.
Memorial Week, it gets a lot of traffic around then.
Okay,
A lot
okay.
then.
Okay.
Not so much now. So,
Didn't we brush it off every spring?
yeah,
So that they'll fall.
brush it off and yeah, I'll get it on the maintenance list of. You know, every year we do a certain amount of crack sealings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Get somebody in there on it, so. Other than that, kind of start getting on budget things, once you get wages and stuff like that figured out, I'll be able to. Put together a better plan, I guess, going to the county engineers conference tomorrow. Farm market board is meeting today to talk about the Grandview switch and all that. Went up and met with them yesterday. To talk about utilities under the road, and according to the city of Grandview, everything's okay, so we can put a couple inches of asphalt over the top of it. And not have it expected to blow up immediately, but. So other than that, any questions for me? Any issues you guys are seeing out there?
I'm glad when we get that all done, the 160,
Yeah,
but I'm still seeing semis. Coming through there, coming through
Yeah.
town.
so we
There's
did
quite a
last
bit of
week,
semi traffic still coming straight through town.
last week we did hire Morrison Tiling to go out there and push all the tiles that were in the new right of way back beyond the
Mhm.
right of way, and that was part of our deal with the two landowners, so got that done. One lady spoke, so the landowner, one of them was supposed to swing by us today, I think, to sign the last bit of paperwork, so that'll be done, so we'll. Moving forward on it.
And we're still going with the curve up there. It'll be a continuation of G44X.
Well, it's going to look like it, trucks are going to have to slow down. I mean,
They're gonna have to slow down, make a concern, an effort
A-
to turn left to go into Grandview.
I mean, and on coming down G44 or
Going towards town.
going towards town from 92. Or
He's talking coming from Monsanto.
Coming from Monsanto.
coming from Monsanto, everything is gonna be concrete, it's all gonna be shaped to go that
Go
way.
right around the corner.
Yeah,
Person's
yeah.
going to have to turn their signal on.
Yeah.
stop,
No,
yield oncoming
No.
traffic if there is.
no, there will be a stop sign coming out of Grandview.
Yeah, okay.
Before that.
Gotcha, that's,
And all the
that's,
signs and everything's gonna say, go
Yeah,
this
just
way.
wanna make-
So,
I want to make perfectly clear that that's going to do that, so that those people, those semis coming out of Monsanto are going to stay on the road and come out, not, and people that come out of the town of Grandview are gonna have to stop, look for traffic, and then pull on to
yeah.
G44.
It'll be similar, not exactly, but similar to, coming up 99 west of Toolsboro, turning right on X 61, that radius, I mean, they slow down there, but they don't stop, going right, you know.
Which one?
Coming out of, Toolsboro, heading left on 99. As they turn right onto X 61, there's a big old skew there. And then those trucks can hit that at 25 miles per hour. Yeah, they have to slow down a little bit, but as soon as they're around that corner, they're going again, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that those truck drivers don't have any question in their mind that the road that I'm supposed to be on is
Mhm.
160th.
Mhm. Yeah, 160th, yeah.
So they stay on that. There's no question about going into town. Gotta stop that traffic from
Well,
going into town. They're still gonna be able to if they
You know
want to,
as
but
well as I do, you can put all the signs and everything, but there's. Still gonna be people that do it, but I'm thinking it'll be
Just
drastically,
drastic signs coming in town now, they're still coming. in.
drastically cut down and once you get rid of that pavement end signs, I think that'll make it better too, so.
oh, yeah.
You're saying, Adam, you can't fix stupid?
I didn't say that, Mr. Maine, I'm just saying that sometimes
And there will be,
signs don't work.
there'll be a sign out there at the station area that says G44X
Yeah, to Muscatine,
to Muscatine. There'll be a good sign there telling the people coming in,
go this way, go this way.
not truck route. It
They
will
still
say,
miss Highway 61, Randy, so
they
still go up to that road missing the on ramp to 61. So if they're gonna use their GPS, it ain't gonna make any difference.
Well, just this weekend,
Right.
This weekend, I got a text about somebody getting buried in their car out on a dirt road, you know?
Yeah.
Sign says dirt road.
can't fix stupid, just like.
Well, that's not what I said, but you know.
Okay, I'm just double checking to make sure that, but you know, we can alleviate that problem of traffic through Randy. We went to a lot of work here to change the farm to market designation. We spent a lot of money redoing things, so on and so forth. I don't want it to end up like the last 160th Street fiasco. Where we thought we had right away, we thought we had room, we thought that could be brought up to grade fairly cheap, and we ended up spending damn near $1 million or $500,000 here. To do something that probably should have been done several years ago.
I'm gonna let future management know that all those decisions were made prior to July 31st of.
Prior to you becoming county engineer, yeah.
Or even assistants.
Okay, I'll quit.
All right.
I'll quit.
One question, 92, is that still on schedule for the spring?
It's supposed to be let in January. It was previously let in, or supposed to be let in December, they pushed back to January. They say it's supposed to be done in one calendar year. I am skeptical of that.
Especially on
all that.
the.
I did have a chance last week to meet with the new. I don't know, was he the materials or construction engineer out of District 5, and we actually went out and looked at a couple of those intersections on 78, going down to Pierce's there at the tree farm, and then the first one west of Morningside. I felt like the grade up to them was a little steep and visibility wasn't quite what it should be, so the the DOT is gonna get a few loads of rock out there to kind of make us more of a level pad. Coming off the road there. We also went and looked at the haul routes that they use to take sand and salt in there, and those seem to be okay. A couple maintenance things that we did have done last week. We had that bridge out there on W66. Be north of the White Way between there and Cotter, there's pretty good bump there. Yeah, that mud jacked up, so hopefully it'll be closer. I mean, it can't be perfect, you know, but it got closer. And then there's another bridge out, L Avenue here. North, or south, between like where Halls live up on the hill, we come down the hill there between. Or Christie, Asher, Leopard lives, there's a bridge there, we had some. Erosion under that and. Got that pump too, so. Just one little maintenance thing here and there, so. There's a double culvert out by south of the gas plant, I believe that's S Avenue out there, on my. That cut comes, or whatever, there's a double 48-inch pipe, and the same company that does the mud jacking for us. They give us a proposal to go in and basically take the. So, you know, there's 8-foot concrete pipe sections, and those kind of come apart sometimes. Now, what we're doing now, we got bolts in them and they all bolt together, and there's a gasket. Well, those are. The older ones didn't have those, right? So their holes come apart, so they're gonna come in and drill in those things and end up bringing them together, I guess, so.
Okay.
For $5,400 to do all that, sounds like a lot of money, but that pipe is $100 a foot, and there's 200 foot of it, so.
Yeah,
$5,400 is cheaper than 20,000 in
Yeah,
just
yeah.
materials, so.
Yeah.
On the route for rerouting that, how's that coming through Columbus Junction? Oh, to the White Way?
So so there's two, I don't know, phases or sub projects, right? There's project, I don't know, one or two, don't quote me on which one is one or two, but one of them is.
want to get you the wheelies.
Wheelies west to the off ramp on 218, right? And another one is from into town.
Right.
And the detour for the in town one comes down X17 past our shop. Through Columbus City on that farm market route. Through Market Street past the implement there.
Oh.
Turns corner at the, you know, big corner there and goes back down into Junction. You know, I've expressed my opinions that people aren't gonna follow that, and they understand my thing, but they can't, you know, you can't do anything ahead of time on it, other than extra signage and all that.
I was trying to go in past the school,
Yeah.
and we ended up coming out right there. So I don't know if you'll be able to do anything about it. Hopefully it won't be that long.
And, you know, I've expressed our concerns also for, you know, trucks coming in G36, you know, bringing in hogs and all that. And they're not gonna wanna go down X17 and go through Columbus City and all that. They're gonna blow across the gravel and.
I would hope that anybody that's gonna go south on 61 would realize that Farm Service Corner that they go off on. You know, I don't know how you get that kind of information out. I suppose the local haulers that come across 92 and want to go south will, they'll figure that out pretty shortly, and that'll maybe that will take all the 61 southbound traffic out of Columbus Junction.
Yeah,
You would hope that they'd realize they could go down that road.
well, and hopefully the trucks coming from Walmart, you know, or Mount Pleasant, you'll use a 78 or.
Yes,
Or
yes.
Mediapolis Splash Trap or something like
Yes,
that, so.
yes.
Hopefully
Yeah, I wouldn't think it'd
after-
take them long to,
hopefully
one
after-
trip down through Main Street of Columbus Junction, and I bet you they'll be looking for someplace,
A different route.
a different route.
Yeah,
The people that run it all the time, the people that are just all of a sudden
Well,
they're
that's
gonna
why I
make
brought
one
it up.
trip, they're
Yeah,
gonna
there's
have
not
to
a
do it.
good way of going through town. and-
Yeah,
There's nothing we can do there.
Well, I think we could probably put up one barricade maybe and say local traffic only to stop us. Because we gotta get ahead of this because it's gonna be a lot of traffic. You see what I'm saying?
On the road that goes into the nursing home.
Nursing home or by the school, we can block off one lane and say local traffic only, just keep from going by the school. I just wanted to get
Well,
this
if I
off.
have to, you know, I can schedule some maintenance or something on those roads for a little while, you know, we're gonna keep them on there.
Cause it's gonna be on us before we know it.
Yeah, so,
Well, yeah, that local traffic, I said,
Yeah.
the big barricade, one lane with local traffic only.
yeah.
Would stop a lot of.
Would stop a lot of people from not cutting through. Now, the locals are gonna figure it out.
Which is okay, but where I'm
Yeah.
worried about is the city's having a couple issues, with water mains coming down that big hill anyway, if we start putting more traffic on, what else?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, and you go through,
But is the,
Columbus on those curves and then
That's not
drop
good.
boxes and they don't.
is the state not compensating us for the damage that possibly could be done?
There's two routes and you get to pick at the end of it. You either get paid the damages caused by the thing
Yeah.
or the farm to market dollar value for
Yeah,
that. So like.
but
for-
that does, after it's over, they look at
Yeah.
if there's been any damage incurred, which some of that you'll never know. You
You'll
might
never
know,
till-
you'll know 10 years down the line.
So.
But any obvious stuff will be compensated for it at that time.
Yeah, I think for Highway 78 detour on the golf course road, they paid us $3,100 or something like that. So a lot of paper, a lot of concrete.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Well, at least they're aware, that,
Well,
they possibly could do some damage to our roads by running
Yeah.
their detour across
Yeah.
us.
And I don't know, you know, how bad our roads are gonna be, but I'd say Columbus City and Columbus Junction.
We're gonna take it.
And we won't have anything to do with that. That will be Columbus Junction, Columbus City will have to apply for some type of compensation for that damage.
Yeah, so I would assume, you know, projects let in January sometime. March, we'll have a pre-construction conference and I'll go to that and they'll talk to us about haul roads, you know, because I'm guessing most of that rock's gonna come out of River Products and how do you get that 292? Last time we did it, they were hauling gravel and we had that fight and all that too, so.
Well, the worst part is gonna be from the viaduct to outside of town. That's
Yeah.
the worst part
Yeah.
of this whole thing.
Yeah, because they're not a good,
Yeah,
There's not a good
a
viaduct.
secondary route.
yeah.
There's not even a gravel road you can take to get around it.
No. Got this thing called a river.
So. That's going on. I have had a question from one of our. Local companies that does a lot of trucking in the county. The legislator passed a all systems permit thing. An overweight hauler can pay $500 to the state and have access to
Everything.
all the roads. I've talked with my engineers in the area, and we don't have to comply with it just yet. And I think we're gonna hold off a little bit. And hopefully get some rule changes, because the thing is that this also systems permit you say. Okay, so right now, all of our roads are restricted, right? And in order to have an overweight truck on a road, you have to get a specific permit and say, hey, I'm gonna take this route from here to there, right? So to do this all systems permit, basically you open them all up, right? And then you have no say. And the problem is the engineers see it, well, we have bridges in areas that aren't ready. Well,
Many of them.
the map that they get is from the DOT, and so we're concerned that maybe the DOT won't update the maps as we make changes, or we change the bridges or whatever, and then something happens, and then all of a sudden, well. The DOT is not responsible, the county is not, or the county then is responsible because we didn't report it, so. I know the Iowa County Engineers Association is talking about it with their members, and I'm going to a meeting tomorrow to see if there's some sort of compromise that we can get that, you know, we're not on the hook for all these trucks. I mean, they're talking, you know, 10% over 90,000 without the permit. That's kind of,
Yeah,
that's a lot of weight in a lot of areas, so.
Is that coming down from the federal or state?
No, that's a Iowa legislature passed it under lobbying efforts by trucking outfits and grain haulers and all that kind of stuff.
I'm glad they're looking out for.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
infrastructure.
And it's supposedly supposed to generate more revenue.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
it's okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we open the public hearing for the second consideration of EMS as essential service for Louisa County.
We'll second that.
Okay, public hearing is open. Thank you. Go ahead.
So, yeah, it's supposed to generate a little more revenue for counties. I mean, you know, all these, you know, the fire trucks would have to be permitted every year. That's generates a lot of money and all that, but
For who?
well, some is gonna go to the state, some would go to the.
Some would go to state, but how about us, that they're.
Some would come back to counties, but we don't know the numbers, we don't know
Yeah.
the liabilities and all that, so we're. Hopefully I'll be smart over the next
Okay,
few months, and eventually we'll move to that, because we'll have to, but. Don't want to be the guinea pig, I guess, so. On these kind of things.
A lot of Oakville's trailers won't hold 700 bushels on their feed trucks. They're not particularly overloading. It's probably
It's the
ingredients and
feed trucks could be bought to hog, I think, so.
no, they only hold about 700 bushels in them. Trailers there, so they're not,
be the stuff that's coming in.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see some of these ingredients trucks, they got 3 axles on the back of the semi and 3 axles on the back of the trailer, and they can haul 90,000 year round now. That's on that kind of.
Yeah, on gravel roads and spring, that's not great. So. All right, any other questions for me?
Yeah. Like
I think we worked you over pretty good for the.
Yeah.
Been like 20 minutes here again.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Let's go on. Oh, awesome. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It's been, it's been decades.
You know how that premise is gonna work.
I'm gonna stay in Grandview, what's going on.
Because there's nothing really good. There's hills both ways, and especially they're up to shut down the hill coming down to 92 straight. Shut that off.
What are they doing on 82?
Widen.
Widen the whole thing from Ainsworth Corners through
Oh. Okay, they're doing this.
to Junction. Now, they haven't started anything on the east side yet. That's still in the works, isn't it?
Yeah,
They haven't even bought right away over there. or
not
anything.
yet.
Oh, there was.
You know,
A
they've had that.
condemnation hearing for like 980 foot, but that canceled for out west of Junction.
Okay, you know, they've had that right away bought between Ainsworth and Junction for a long, long time.
Was the fence row like 20 feet off the road, the shoulder before?
Oh,
Yeah, it was closer. for a while.
So why get it west of Junction?
Yeah, the traffic count is up over 7,000 per day. And it's one of the highest traveled in Louisa County, like 61 right now, 6,500 per day.
Before lane next.
Yeah, it surpasses from Columbus Junction to 218, it surpasses any road in the county as far as traffic. And that's all due to the trucks coming into Tyson and
So they're gonna widen it.
widen it, and probably eventually you'll probably see something different. Maybe in our lifetime or maybe not,
You want 4 lanes?
possibly.
Wow, wouldn't that be a major?
I remember the curbs.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you too.
And I remember that, what was they, 10 foot and then a curve, it was really narrow, because I remember we had a delivery truck and they would ride the curve most of the time.
Yeah. Then they had them drainage
Yep.
cutouts, you know, you hit those, oh, man, it was.
And that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
It
Well,
was.
I hate to say it was in our
I
lifetime.
remember those.
It was the one that was Wrath, not Tyson.
Yeah.
The curves.
So that had to be in the eighties.
Well, I remember running down the road, 80 miles an hour and ready,
Yes, could have been, because I was in the truck for half an hour.
just put the tire against the edge. It was
Because,
real hard on tires.
Doug, the hopper bottom come loose there at Slutz's turnoff there and filled up both sides full of corn, and we shoveling, I remember shoveling all through the night. So I had to be like 84 when them curves there, 82.
Where that was, that rack up there by Sluices.
Well, when Doug Wolf had a hopper bottom split because the road was so rough, he emptied his whole 900 bushel out on the road and had the road blocked down for about 6 hours. That had to be early 80s. Good morning, how you doing?
Good morning, special delivery.
Hey.
He got killed on that, right, out over the same
Oh, 10:30.
driveway right there at Sluices.
Gentlemen, I'm ready for you guys, are.
Yeah, there was a whole family of them.
No, this was the truck driver.
Hey, good morning.
Truck for,
How's it
Wayman
going?
Houston. Harry Boyd. Harry Boyd. Was it
Yes.
Harry Boyd?
Yeah, you're right.
They got killed out there on that drive, the first one that goes to Slutz's house. That was when the curves were like that, brought a street truck off that and smashed her into the ditch.
Morning.
Good morning.
Work will remain steady. I'm currently working in 29 claims. Those are both compensation, pension claims and champ VA claims. But it's looking really good. We're currently at 40%. Commissioner Beaver agreed to a second term as a commissioner. For outreach, I had 139 contacts since our last briefing. I did 5 home visits. I had 18 office visits. I did 4 nursing home visits. Commissioning nursing home. Right now, we have a total of 28. 11 in Junction, 12 in Wapello, and 5 in Williams Sun. A little bit on Operation Greenlight, as quickly as it was put online for everybody to bring together. I think our county did a pretty good job, especially the sheriff's office. They had it all lit up. Gals at the office over there at the recorders, I think they had hearts, green hearts and stuff in the window, and of course, we got our green lights out on front as well. On November 20th, I was a guest speaker for the Wapello Cub Scouts. That was interesting. We also did a flag burning ceremony after that, and I think they got a lot of new interest in how to respect the flag and take care of it. I also attended the Wapello High School Veterans Day celebration on November 10th. I'll give this to you, Jim. Sorry. And we also had the Veterans Day ceremony on November 11th at the courthouse that we do every year. Our outreach planning continues for FY23. Second quarter assistance, we're at $1,002. Van update, we're still about 65,000 miles and we're still in a good working order. As I previously stated, Louisa County Veterans Affairs are still in the transport business and we're taking care of Louisa County veterans. Muscatine branched off to Veterans Transport Services, BTS at VAMC. So they're out of transport business, but their veterans are still able to get rides through VAMC. Training and travel for next year. Spring school is April. Annual conference is scheduled June 4th through 8th in Madison, Wisconsin. And fall school is tentatively set for October in 2023. Our next Veteran Commission meeting is this Thursday at 10 a.m. As always, you guys are more than welcome to attend.
Why did Muscatine go a different direction?
I believe it was overwhelming. Of the number of folks that needed rides. And it's not just taking their information and locking on a ride and getting them to and from A to B. Those appointments, either the veteran or VA would change appointment times, dates, and it just, you know, again, I just think it was overwhelming, just coordinating those rides for those veterans in Muscatine.
Was there advantage to that as far as more opportunities for rides, or is it good for the veterans that's changed?
Oh, yeah. See, the VA hospital has paid drivers that are sanctioned by VA to take care of, or to get veterans to and from the VA hospital. Our setup is completely volunteer. I've got 5 drivers right now that are pretty reliable, and for the amount of veterans that we have that get rides to the hospital from Louisa County, it's not difficult to coordinate and take care of.
So if something did happen, they do have other opportunities to get there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for educating me on that. I just didn't know how that worked. And I didn't know they had a paid drivers to come get them and stuff also.
They do that. I think my predecessor and the CVSO in Muscatine over a decade ago coordinated this where we got the van and they were doing transports, but it has exponentially expanded as far as the number of veterans getting rides, and it just got to be too much.
Because the Muscatine was taking care of the scheduling for just a short term in there.
They were.
And now you got it back down here.
Correct, for Louisa County.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Something I think's interesting here is the top, maybe you said it and I didn't hear, 220,000 monthly compensation and pension payout
Over 2
to
million.
Louisa County veterans.
Over 2 million. a year.
That figure, I think everybody needs to
Huge.
hear that figure. It's amazing. And that all comes into this county
Correct.
due to our veterans.
Yes.
And another thing shocking too, the nursing home, how it used to be 43 average and now we're at 28.
Yes,
Go ahead.
that does have a tendency to fluctuate, but we're trending down. I can't explain why, but
I think COVID was
Well,
hard on us.
I think COVID is part of it, and our elderly are passing on.
Yeah,
Those numbers just aren't there.
Or men out of Korean in World War II, that's.
Yeah, they're all the.
So we're running out.
as always, thank you.
Yeah,
Gentlemen,
thank you, and
You bet.
Okay, guys, public hearing is now open for about 15 minutes.
I'll make a motion, we close the second public hearing of the EMS essential service.
we'll second that. Now we're gonna have a third, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
and we can pass a resolution next time.
Next week then, okay.
Okay, back for your meeting. Thank you.
Second,
Randy seconded it.
second.
Back to work.
Well, we've got Roxanne, and that's it.
And they sent these along for each time, for each consideration. And they just want to share everything as well.
You guys see Herb Myers died yesterday
Morning or something. Yeah.
Urban Meyer? Huh?
Urban Meyer,
Yeah.
the coach?
Well, the-
FFA.
FFA.
Yeah.
I tell you about Urban Meyer,
no, Herb from Waffle here.
the wrestling. No, he was FFA advisor to help run, do the rodeo.
okay.
Sure got a lot of kids scholarships to school, probably more than any sports ever did. Through FFA. One side. Years ago, the kids nabbed his truck and took it down to slopes and put it in gear. And the next morning it was spinning on the other side of the river on top of the ice. Against the iceberg. There's I think Lenny Brown walked out there and put a rope on, pulled clear across the river.
Not this guy.
No, I'd have figured out a way to go get a crane from the other side and just pick it up or something.
Yeah, walking on river ice is not always the safest thing.
Which river? Down a river here. Really? And it was sitting. Caddy corner down the river. So they're spinning against the ice.
Did you send Sean that thing for Des Moines?
Mhm.
Is there like a mailbox for the supervisors, so they can get their stuff?
She brings it here.
Guy over there sat in the chair. On mailbox.
They just throw it away.
Every meeting that she'll bring over mail,
Just leave it on the desk or something?
brings it here and then the chair hands it out.
Always means you got a trash can beside us.
For the big purple wave with the big paychecks, I'll have to get my shoulder worked on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a nameplate? City or do I
It
need?
says mayor on it. Can I stick it up there?
Oh, or do you want?
Okay.
You'll probably need a stamp too.
Yeah, signature stamp. I don't use mine, but. You like signing?
I don't have a problem.
You might at election.
Election, when you can't.
Get tired of it.
And then there's the. Well, that one book of, Kathy brings over veterans. People that
Homestead and.
Homestead, yeah.
There's a lot of signatures.
there's a lot of signatures.
Yeah.
It's next, anything? Yeah, especially next week.
There's quite a few things, but I can't, I mean. The resolution and that's the big one and then. Adam had some stuff and I can't think.
Next week's the Christmas.
Mhm.
Bye.
This weather, it just doesn't feel like it.
Don't worry.
That'll change by about Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, but it sounds like long term, it's gonna come back a little bit too. It looked like in 10 days. I'll take it. Having warm days, not a cold day, so.
It'll be 50 tomorrow.
Guys in the 20s.
Later on,
Yeah.
you get rid of those. Did you get it rolling yet?
All he had to do.
So who flips a car by
All
day?
he has to do.
I don't know.
You take Dennis.
I heard,
Oh,
oh,
it's done by
like,
my.
holy smokes. Upside down, still in the car.
Call for snow plows and clean the dirt off the highway.
Really?
Where's $3,800, right? I said, yeah.
Right on the corner.
I don't think it hit the building, but it was
Goddamn
down in
kid.
their ditch.
We
like,
couldn't even remember
In Wapello?
Yeah, about,
that. That's okay.
2:30,
yeah, probably.
3:30.
There was a lot of things going on yesterday.
Yeah. The fire up in
Let's.
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 Coming in, looking at it, wanting to can.
For documents or conversation in the bank. Yeah, they're.
Yeah, I wonder how that worked. They put a lot of traffic on gravel road yesterday to bypass.
Fast, my side would say, some girl with your face attention. Roll off.
Well, now I got one off.
What, 61 or where at?
I think she was headed out of town, wasn't she?
I don't know.
They said she was going south, I think.
Yeah, headed out of town down 61 instead of turning that curve by. Just kind of went straight.
I was plastering the ceiling and I heard it and I heard the call go out and I seen all the squad cars go by and.
I'm guessing that had something to do with it. I don't know. I bet. Usually does. Yeah. So I'm gonna get worse.
Which you from around here, do you know?
Mike didn't act like she.
I hope they'll go through the doors.
It road closed for quite a while.
It's square.
Mhm.
So anyhow,
Not some actual names there.
yeah.
Well, 45.
They all better look.
But
They're usually winding up.
they're usually, and I'm glad we moved it back, but it's still,
It's in.
they got,
Up there?
it was out
Yeah.
there. Was it Sunday, Saturday, Sunday? I was finishing the drywall and I noticed out there they had about 4 cars stopped during the day. So they're starting to get them on that end of town. It needs to be. Because everybody starts speeding up out of the motel there going out of town.
About Family Dollar, they start pushing on the gas.
Yeah.
They about run me over, but I gotta stop to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, especially that intersection. Sometimes I'll go down.
to work, it's just as bad.
Oh, bad.
I'm late. Boy, here we go.
Sometimes I'll come out that gravel road there behind Dave's. It just gives you a little better view.
Yeah.
Closed.
And during the day, I go around to the backside of Kennedy and come around because it's so busy on that intersection. How's that, everything going good on the expansion?
Marvin.
So Mark,
Cafe.
It's still good.
I know it's something to match signs, so.
What?
Probably needs a minute.
Do they have a certain time?
Yeah, I talked to
They
the
just, they
developer
could have made that into something
week ago.
10, 12 years ago.
Maybe 2 weeks ago, I can't remember now. And he said it's all signed, it's moving forward, he'll get me a timeline of how it's gonna progress.
I don't know what.
At this point, they're hoping to be open by August of next year.
Excellent.
I doubt
Things are
very
crazy.
will tear anything down this time of year, but
2.5 acres.
I would bet by March.
It might be the best
But
time
he
to tear it
hated
down.
that. He always got some.
Mhm.
Which is.
So they're gonna close the old dog.
Plus,
Yeah.
Not that they're.
Rather than come in from.
You know, we can get the coffee, someone else, but this is going to just for a month.
Yeah, I'll get out there. Do some pictures, draws.
Yeah, I told Ray, it's a picture of my father, you want pictures, you better get out there and get one.
Farming here.
It's been there all my life.
Article about it on Farm Magazine.
Yeah, I like to see
Well,
that
I-
candy factory right there. I wish I lived that.
Well, just, now they
Yeah,
put
I got to
the
the point now is she's kind of.
fertilizer business in
It's
Nickel.
not being used, it's just.
Plus they run the feed business, talking about a father and 2 sons.
Yeah.
Move on.
Definitely time.
Getting them started farming.
Bigger and better.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a successful farm.
It's a good move for
They're
them.
aggressive.
Because I mean, right now they've got direct
But
competition.
Bob's made much money and he's.
I mean, they're selling the same stuff.
Horsepower.
So why not?
And then boys are going
You
to
know,
get.
but
Yeah,
basically. You know, why not?
what I seen of the one.
Change and go to more of a.
Everybody's.
Oh,
do that. It's somebody.
People are there buying.
No, they got, they get, they're out there to make money. They realize that
They're gonna sell me.
you're gonna maybe sacrifice a little here, but you're done. We're gonna have.
Fruit you looking
You
at?
say that, you get the back and take her and go.
Produce.
Yeah, they,
Big on that.
You know, your tubes of hamburger and stuff like
I
that. Yeah.
think they bought that elevator
They
in
have it
Black
now.
City too.
If you go over there now.
Like,
tubes of hamburger,
But they've had that a year or two.
Dollar General.
They sold that 40 isolates
Yeah.
because they had an 80 that boarded them.
Have quite a bit of stuff. Just, we're missing the
Once in a lifetime,
Fresh.
that 80,
Fresh.
wanted that 80. He said, "Which
Data,
farm is
you
it?"
know, they-
That hooks in the original farm. No, I
Anything
said,
better
I get
what we
it, I
have.
get it.
And then you see where they
I
looking
had
at the
somebody
restaurant down there.
1031 some money and.
uh,
he said, so
the
it's
delivery,
almost 40 years
cars.
anything.
Portable-wise
Used
trailer.
against the 80.
Yeah, but I hadn't.
And he said, we're still farming.
I went over and looked at it.
They're still farming
For
the 40 that I sold.
They're getting it framed up and stuff inside. They're trying to get some funding, so I'm trying to help them southeast.
Still.
Regional planning. They got shut down twice.
Why are you telling me?
Figure out how we get it.
Banks don't like to.
Yeah, they don't have long.
They're still calling it somebody's gravel there.
And that COVID. it's-
No,
That COVID.
fish.
The dairy suite over at Columbus Junction for sale.
Well, there's a lot to it, that highway. Kind of crowded it pretty good. If you look at the signs when you go over there at Meinzer, it's right up against the window. The row signs, I mean,
Really?
right against the window.
Well, that's where it has been, I think.
And they got just a little bit more of it.
They asked for more. I'm on that, I'm on the, I got papers the other day, I'm on the, condemnation board for that. Not the Meinzer one, but
Other one down.
the dairy suite. Well, and they're also have a problem down at the restaurant.
Roadhouse, whatever it is.
Parking.
Oh.
State wants to. And. Yeah,
Where businesses are dying in Wise County at an alarming rate, they're taking more.
Just
they,
just kind of check their main three of them.
I tell you what, they've got an opinionated person on the board, on the board. Or the board that's gonna hear it.
For the state.
The condemnation.
God, that's what I'm, yeah, they've got an opinionated person on the condemnation board.
Well,
I don't know how they got my name, I don't have any idea. They called me at the sheriff's office and asked if I would serve on it. And we got to talking about it, and I said, well, yeah, I've got opinions on this. I'll be glad to serve on that.
Who doesn't have it?
Is that the one January like 15th?
Yeah, January 10th or something like that.
Owning of city or town property, Randy Griffin, highway inlets.
What's it say?
You're on the condemnation list.
I was already on there?
Yes,
What, for how long?
For the last couple of years?
yeah.
Well, they never called me, so I didn't know it. I didn't know how they
You
did
haven't
it.
had
Well, see,
use, I don't think.
well,
It depends on.
just one.
they did have some because Eddie Vineyard, the other day I was in there, was asking me about, they had the same problem out there at Bryn Mawr. When you go over the county line where that little house used to sit, there's just a brick building there. And Eddie was involved in that, and he was asking me where it was, and we got on Beacon and was looking all that. And he was having to serve on that, and no one contacted me, and then all of a sudden I get contacted on this next one. And they said that Ed was gonna be on it too, so I don't know.
There's points that they're doing.
No. Dealing with the DOT, I find out they're gonna do whatever they wanna do, whether or not you like it or not.
Well, you know what, you've heard me say it, and I'll say it again, that 12 years I've spent here, the two entities that are the worst of anything is the Corps of Engineers and Iowa DOT. Those two.
Yep.
Everybody else you can work with, or you can try to do something, but those two. It's terrible what they do.
Their Achilles heel is safety. You can figure something out about safety, you got
Yeah.
them. We figured that out really quick.
Yeah, yeah,
They'll listen.
with this bypass
Anything
through
else
here.
is just smoke and mirrors.
And instead of worrying about development of Iowa, they're worrying about how to get people through Iowa quicker.
Exactly.
Well, I always said that about the 61 corridor here. All they're worried about is getting traffic from Muscatine or down to Burlington, and they don't care about any of us along here. Do not care.
No.
When I call it the Autobahn in front of Jim Armstrong, he just. Cause I mean, at one time, we was only gonna have like 5 places to get across it in the whole county.
Well, and you went to coalition meetings, you know, the Burlington people and the Muscatine people, this and that were the ones that were in there talking to Armstrong and all those people.
Benefit them the most.
You bet.
It doesn't bypass their towns. Goes right through.
Especially.
It gets people to it,
at one.
gets them, the people to them faster.
Absolutely it does.
So get it to them faster, they can spend more money with it, and hell with us.
We have a voice. I probably don't shut my mouth about.
Well, I've run my head for years too, so you know, whatever.
And I'm chair.
That's why Armstrong didn't like me.
Wonder how he's doing in the Russian front. Never hear from him at all.
Probably retired.
Retired out of the big pension and sat back.
He's probably down south where it's more up here freezing.
Yep, we're still playing the game, he's rode off into the sunset.
Well, what's sad, before he was went on with the state, he was a county engineer just like Adam.
Power went to him. Cause he did not want to talk to us in Des Moines. It went for his boss.
So sit down and basically shut us up.
Listen. You might learn something.
Well, he told me that at the Highway 61, I think one of the last Highway 61 coalition meetings I
All
went to.
Bert breaks.
No, down in Burlington. And he showed up one of them days and I started being on this same kind of discussion and he flat said, I'm not here to discuss that, Randy. We're not here to discuss that. We're not gonna listen to that. And so on and so forth. He just shut me up. And I said, and I don't think I ever went to another one. You started going to him. I said, I'm done. If I gotta deal with people like that won't even listen to the problem that you've got, or, you know, I was there representing people of this county, and I would think that he would have given me the respect to at least listen to it. Boy, he shut it down. I do not want to hear that. That's not why we're here, so on and so forth. And end of conversation.
Well, you and I were at the Minneapolis one when they were talking to them and they told everybody how it's gonna be an economic boom to Minneapolis, and Randy and I just stared at each other. How do you figure that?
He sold
Why
it.
that's the town.
Okay, now the people in Minneapolis. So many places there. Where they're coming into the old 61 right now. Keitzers, they farm on the west side of 61, their bins are all on the east side. And Edmondson's is the exact opposite, so there's gonna have to be 100 semis in the fall, go right through town.
Yeah, is that?
And then they're, like where they go to their fields, they're only giving them a 20-foot culvert. Well, that'll maybe accommodate a combine, but it won't accommodate a semi.
Yeah.
And they're just pulling their hair out.
Something I want you three to keep in mind here is up at Grandview now, where we cross, where we come out that, what is it, 145th Dick Wilson's Road? Okay,
Yeah,
that, there was no crossing over, so that Dick could go north to get on the first gravel road to get to his fields. He was gonna have to turn to the right, go all the way down, all the way across and back. And we finally got him put in that crossing so that he can get across. But they also, when they put it in, said, this is temporary. Once we get the 4-lane done, we're gonna pull that back out. So, you know, Dick has told me, Randy, think about this. I said, yeah, let's hope that they forget that promise. But that was because you talk about making a hardship for a local guy that owns on both sides. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm more of a hazard to do that
There's no reason.
than to cross right there. But that,
Tom Lennox is the same way.
yeah, and Tom is gonna, I'm using Dick for an example. Tom's the exact same thing,
Yeah.
owns ground on the other side.
Yeah.
He has to access your gravel road to get to his stuff. Dick has to access that gravel road to go through town.
Or he farms down past me too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, well, now they got Bike's Place, yes.
Yeah.
So you see, that crossover is very important there.
I use it.
And they fought it and fought it and fought it. And then finally said, we'll do it, but this is temporary. So back again, you people that are in here for the next few years, I ain't gonna be here to advocate for them. Yes, I can come in here and sit in the crowd and say, what in the hell are you doing?
Yeah, they're just gonna take it out. They're gonna take it out.
Well, it sounded like it was gonna be there until they finished.
They got the Audubon there.
When they got the Audubon built, then it would have to go. So it's just something to keep in mind that is working good right now. Everybody's getting along, but
There's a lot of trucks that miss a highway 92 going south, and they go down and turn around and go back up to go on 92.
Cause they miss it.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know how many trucks I've seen turn around there.
It's probably is that Roxanne on?
Probably is. They've been on since the beginning.
That's not hot.
she has been,
No.
or this person. I
That's
don't know who that
That's
is.
anonymous.
Did somebody want to text her and ask her? I'm not sure if she remembered she's on. but I didn't get any messages.
Oh, now, back again, I get messages. I want to see the look I got there. It says, it's from Roxanne Smith. 7:54, so oh,
Yeah, a while ago.
I don't look at her stuff either. I'm homesick today, won't be able to give my update, I will email an update when I'm back at work, sorry about that.
Anybody want to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
Put it on next week's.
Wonder why I didn't get that. Maybe it's because I didn't.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.